Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you the perfect way of making this elastic waist trouser with pockets. To begin, I have my fabrics here. The mist color fabric, we are using that for the top, a high-low circle top. The tutorial for that to go up later. But for this tutorial, we are making use of the plain yellow crepe fabric. This is 2 yards. And also we are making use of this elastic, is 1 inch in width. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric. To fold your fabric, what you need to do is to divide your hip measurement by 4 and add extra 5 inches allowance. Okay, divide your hip measurement by 4 and add extra 5 inches allowance. I also went ahead to mark my start line up there. Our fabric is on fold, note that. So I left 2 inches up for the elastic casing and I wrote a straight line there. We are going to start all our vertical measurements from that straight line, that horizontal line. And so when you fold the fabric in, the elastic casing in, you see that it's still the same thing. For beginners that have not made trousers before, so you see that is the same thing. So I'm going to place my tape on that line and I'll take all my vertical measurements. Okay, so the length of this trouser is 41 inches plus I'm adding 2.5 inches allowance for folding. So right here I have 43.5 inches. Okay, plus the hemming allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut it out because this is just what I need for the front part of my trouser. This tutorial is beginner friendly. If you've not made trouser before, you can watch this tutorial and be able to make your first perfect trouser. So if you're here to subscribe to my channel at this point, please do subscribe, like, comment, share our videos, and also turn on your post notification bell so you are updated when I post the next video. Remember, we still have the top tutorial coming up. So at this point, I've gone ahead to place my tape at the start line there, which also serves as the waistline. That's also the waistline. Then from that point, I came down by 9.5 inches for my hip point, and then I went down to take my crotch point of 12 inches. Okay, so to achieve your crotch point, your crotch depth, what you need to do, you just sit on a hard surface, a flat surface, and place your tape on your waist down to that surface. You'll be able to get your crotch depth, or just divide your hip measurement by 4 and add 1 to 2 inches, okay, depending on your size. So now just go ahead and divide your hip measurement by 4 and add 1 inch for ease. Okay, the hip measurement I'm working with is 43 inches. I divided it by 4, it gave me 10.75, and I added 1 inch for ease, making it 11.75. I also went ahead to replace that measurement at my waistline and crotch line. So I roll a straight line from top to bottom. I'm using my hip measurement on my waist because this is an elastic waist trouser. I need enough room, enough fabric at the waist side. So from my crotch line, I'm coming down by 3 inches for my tie line. I'll go ahead and roll a straight line there. So now to achieve my crotch curve, I'm going to divide my hip measurement by 4. Remember the hip measurement we took 43 divided by 4 plus 1 inch. I'm going to divide by that 11.75 by 4 inches, and I got 2.9. I'm going to extend it there at that line, and then at that point I'm coming out by 1.5 so the curve is not too deep. So I'm going to mark out my crotch curve right there. So go ahead and divide your thigh measurement by 2. Take your round thigh measurement and divide it by 2. For my round thigh is 26 inches. I divided it by 2, making it 13 inches. And then I'm going to add 1 inch for ease, making it 14 inches. I'll rule a line from the crotch curve to the thigh point there. And then this 14 inches, I'm going to replace it at my hemline. You know, this is a palazzo trouser, is a free trouser. So if you notice, I didn't even take the knee measurement, the knee point, because there's no need for that. It's a free trouser. So I'm going to be marking down that 14 inches. I'll roll it down, okay, to the hem of the trouser. So the next thing is to cut it out. I'll extend that line to the elastic casing, and then I'm going to cut out. So basically this is our the front part of our trouser. So for the back, to determine the amount of fabric to fold for the back, just go on and fold what you folded for the front, your front pattern for the elastic trouser, and then add extra 4 to 5 inches allowance. Okay, add extra 4 to 5 inches allowance, and then leave space at the up part of the fabric as well, just like I did in the video. So watch carefully how I'm going about it. You will understand it better. So at that point, I'm going to extend my crotch depth. I'll extend the crotch line by 1 inch for the back trouser, for the back part of the trouser, and that's because our back is bigger than the front. So you need to extend this, especially if your hip measurement is from 40. 36, 37, 38 can get away with it without extending it, but from 40 you have a bigger hip. Extend your trouser at the back so that you're not the crotch part of your trouser will not look funny at the end of the day. So make sure you do this. Just work with it the way I'm going about it, and you will achieve a good result. So from that point, I'm going to come out by 1.5. At the crotch line there, I'll come out by 1.5. Then at the hip part, the hip point, I'll extend it by 2 inches. You can still use 1.5 if you want. Then at the crotch curve, okay, at the crotch curve there, I'm going to come out by 2.5. I'm using hip measurement of 43. If you have a bigger hip, please extend it by 3 inches. And if your hip is less, extend it by 2 inches. So I came down at that crotch point by ½ inch. So I have my 2.5 there, and at the thigh, I came out by 2 inches. Okay, I hope you understand that. 2.5, I came out by 2.5 at the crotch, and at the thigh, I came out by 2 inches. That's 2 inches. I'll connect the lines, and I'll extend. I'm going to extend that 2 inches all the way down to the hem of the trouser. Just watch me carefully the way I'm going about it. You will understand it better, and you can also rewatch the video for better understanding. So I'm going to roll my line, connecting the dots. So I'll go ahead and open up the side of the front. The sides are the same thing. The side of the front and the back is the same thing. The adjustments we made is just to the crotch part of it. So I'll go on and cut out the back pattern now. Remember, I slanted that 1 inch that I went up by. I slanted it into the waistline. I only went up at the crotch line of the back pattern by 1 inch, and then is a slant I gave there. I slanted it into the waist, the side, okay, of the trouser. So I didn't go up by 1 inch at the side, no. So understand the difference. I went up by 1 inch at the crotch part of the back trouser, and then I slanted that line. You can see the cutting is slanted. Take note of that. I'll split open the side. So now we are going to work on our pocket. To cut out our pocket, this is 20 inches in width. Unfold is 10 inches. Okay, and the length, I'm going to use 8 inches. So I'll mark 8 inches at that point. That's 8 inches. I'm going to put my hand into it. Just do what your hand will be able to enter freely. So I will give it a curve. The fabric is moving, so I'm going to curve out the shape of my hand there like a D. I'm going to retrace the line so you see it better. So just like that. You can use any shape you want. So yes, I'm going to curve it out like that. I'll place it, after cutting it out, I placed it on another folded fabric, and I'm going to cut it out. This is for the other part. So at the end, we are going to have 4 pieces. You need 4 pieces of the pockets. I'll slit it open at that side there. So you can see we have 4 pieces of the pockets. So for our trouser, I'll go ahead and stitch it at the crotch line using 1/2 inch. I'll stitch it down, but I'll leave 1 inch open. I'll stitch it down. This is the back part, leaving 1 inch open. So you can see I've gone ahead to stitch it down using 1/2 inch, and then I left 1 inch open at that crotch point there. You can also see that I've gone ahead to iron my elastic casing. It's very important to do this. And I also iron the half part that I'll be using to fold it. I use 1/2 inches to fold, and then I'm using 1.5 for the elastic casing. Doing this will make it very easy when stitching the waistline. So the next thing I'll do is to mark 1 inch from the elastic casing point. I'll mark 1 inch down, or from the waist, you can just mark 2.5 down, or from the point of the elastic casing, I just came down by 1 inch. From that elastic casing point, I came down by 1 inch. I will place one piece of the pocket there, the right face facing each other, right face to right face. I'm going to place it the right face of the fabric. I'll place it at that point. I'll take it over to my sewing machine and stitch it using 1/2 inch. I'll do same thing for the other part, or the other side of my front trouser. And then for the back as well, I came down from the elastic casing point by 1 inch, and I'll place the pocket, another piece of the pocket there, right face facing each other. I'll go over and stitch it down using 1/2 inch. So I'm done stitching, and this is what we have. Okay, this is what we have. Now I'm going to place the front pattern on the back pattern, and make sure you open up the elastic casing that was ironed. Open it up completely before stitching. And I'm going to stitch using 1 inch. You can use 0.75, you can use 0.5 to stitch it round through the pocket. I'll do same thing with the other part. Now if this is your first time, you will notice that the back part of the trouser is bigger than the front. It's okay. What you need to do after stitching one side, pull the other side pull the front part to the other side, and make sure it's on the same line, and stitch it. Now I'm done stitching, and this is what we have. I'll go over to stitch the crotch line. Remember, I left 1 inch open, so at that 1 inch point I will stitch 1 in using 1 inch down to the hemline, and then to the other side I'll stitch from the crotch line of that 1 inch using 1 inch down. I'm done stitching, and this is what the crotch part of the trouser is looking like. This is what the side is looking like, you can see. So the next thing is to stitch down our elastic casing. Once you have it ironed, it's going to be very easy to stitch down without giving you trouble. I'm going to leave 2 inches open at that point to insert my elastic casing. So after stitching, this is my elastic casing. I'm making use of waist of 36 inches, and I cut out elastic of 30 inches. So you see me inserting it into the casing at this point. I use the pin, and I'm inserting it all round, okay, with a pin hooked to the elastic. That's what I'm using. So I'm going to pull it out at the other end, and then go over to the sewing machine and stitch it, put it together and stitch it. So after stitching, I'll also go on to fold my hem, the hem of my fabric of my trouser, and this is what we have. This is what our elastic trouser is looking like with pockets. So thank you guys for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment and share. Bye.